What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Had a viewer tweet me over this image of Dustin Smith, Equipment Guru, obviously one of the designers on Madden, responding to Damian Young, sending him a video of mine where he put, "We're spending a lot of time on gameplay this year. It's always hilarious to me, the assumptions he makes." Well, you know, to me, stuff like that really divides our community, because if you go back and look, a lot of the assumptions are actually factual. So go back in time, June 21st, 2018, sure, you can paint it as I'm making assumptions that they haven't fixed red zone reactions. But now that it's May of 2019, we know those aren't assumptions, those are facts. And I think a lot of the facts of what isn't improved on this game lends itself to this. 151 negative ratings, 26 positive, 14 mixed, and a user score which has went down now to 2.2. So the intriguing thing is, when approached, a lot of times, whether Dustin means to or not, he can kind of come off passively aggressive. So in this case, Ged mentions that they do full body scans in NBA, and there's only 3 to 4 body types in Madden, which he then refutes. Then when asked, he clarifies, yeah, no, there are only 4. But I wanted to take this in a little different direction, because this guy, obviously Equipment Guru, collector of game-used football stuff, I wanted to maybe approach him in a different way. Speak to him in his language, show you guys a little bit of my NFL collection. Because to me, this is where rubber meets the road. This is an Andrew Luck game issue jersey. I want you to notice the shoulder on this jersey. This is a Robert Mathis game-worn jersey. I want you to notice the shoulder on this jersey. 2 completely separate constructions. Now, these are actually referred to as skill cut jerseys. You go back and look at the Andrew Luck one, you can see they call it a skill cut. There's a variety of different cuts they use. They can actually have variations of those cuts. So when you look at Luck, he has a skill like a receiver running back would have. When you look at a player like Mathis, they'll have a line, and then from there they can do some variants. Now, these have been in NFL for a very long time. Now, in fairness, they used to be in a way that really could not be controlled. So I want you to take a look at another Robert Mathis gamer where they essentially cut the whole neckline out of this jersey, moved the actual NFL equipment logo to accommodate the jersey fitting to Robert Mathis' specifications. Now, I did not, no one should have ever expected this level of authenticity out of a video game. You cannot have custom cut player jerseys in a game, but you should be able to mimic these skill cut jerseys that have been in the game for a very long time. And aside from that, as you look at the way this Mathis jersey was modified, even before Nike came in, the last year Reebok was in, they had made some changes. So take a look at this Dallas Clark game jersey. You can see it kind of matches that skill cut where there isn't a whole lot of shoulder, and this was used by a number of players, both offensive and defensive, in conjunction with different shoulder pads. But it's not just the fact that Reebok was doing this 10 years ago. I mean, you can look when Nike first came in, you can look and go back, do a little research, you'll see that they had some trouble with the Eagles' green color, so they ended up having to use these jerseys, which are totally different than any other team ever had. But again, you go back to that custom cut, the player-specific jerseys, which again, we're not asking for, but at this point, if you're an equipment guru and you're collecting this stuff, you literally are surrounding yourself with items that you know the game you work on does not match. And that, to me, presents a real challenge. When you're taking a look at some of the most up-and-coming players in the league, we'll go back to Lamar Jackson, and you look, Madden 20, Madden 19, what are we trying to do? This shoulder pad is not indicative. This uniform cut, this equipment, the biggest part of the equipment, aside from the helmet, is the jersey. Yet, when you look at him on field in real life, you can tell not only in this image is his jersey different, the corner's jersey is different. And the corner's jersey is different based on the pads they're using, the position they're playing, the mobility they need. And none of this is replicated properly in Madden. So I'm a little astonished that somebody that calls themselves the equipment guru, someone that openly, like myself, collects game-used, game-worn memorabilia, that has to be versed in this stuff by design, because you don't want to buy something that's fake, so you understand what goes into players' uniforms, the skill cuts, the meanings behind them, and why they're done. Yet he works on a game which year in and year out fails to replicate some of the most simplistic approaches to what players wear on field. And then, as I said, when you question Not just specifically him, but a lot of times when you question these guys about it, they come back almost arrogant, almost defensive. No one is trying to insult you. We're trying to get a better game. Anyone that's upset about this should also understand that same concept. We're just trying to get you a better game. No one is going to complain the jerseys are more realistic. No one is going to complain the player models look more specific to a player. But don't back up and say there's more than 4 player models when you know there's not. Don't back up and say people are making assumptions about your game when a majority of the time the assumptions are rooted in the past. What we've been shown, what we've seen, what we know is the current case. I, for that matter, have Rex Dixon on my channel basically come out and saying they can't sell game fixes. If you've got somebody telling you that, and then you're sitting there almost saying we do all these improvements each year, but we both know now because someone above your pay grade said that you can't market that, then what are we supposed to think? In my opinion, people would buy just a better game of Madden. But to me, I think it starts with when you look at the people that are put in position at EA, the things that they want to do, the things that they're brought in to do. When they can't do those things well, and that's not a knock on him, it's just the facts. Whether he wants to put these jerseys in the game properly and can't, or whether he's tried to put these jerseys in the game correctly and they won't, is not an answer that I need. I'm just looking at the end result. And if you're going to sit there and laugh off criticism and joke about assumptions, you better be prepared when the game doesn't meet expectations, when the game visually doesn't meet the expectations you help set, that people are going to have the right to say something about it. And if that upsets you, I'm sorry. Push forward to make more progress next year so we don't have the ability to complain. You have the power. EA has the power to make my channel completely obsolete every single year. The question is, why don't they? Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking it out. I will be back in the week with more commentary.